Hey, welcome to day one. I'm super pumped that you're here and that you are going through this amazing and awesome challenge. That at the end of this, you're going to have a full-blown course ready to go, which is fantastic. I was going to say another word there and I thought probably I should watch my language. So fantastic. So in this session, what we're going to start, I'm just rolling up my sleeves here because I feel like we're getting into some stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, for those of you who don't know me, if you're taking this, you don't know who I am. Hi. I'm Amanda Ross, and I have been helping small businesses create amazing things in the online space for many years. And I started my own business in 2013 called Sparkology Lab, where I really focus on helping people, like I said, bring things into the online space, whether that is web design, branding, online courses. We also looked at Google My Business and sales funnels. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to know more about that, you can reach out to me and find out more. Okay, let's get into it. So this topic is teach easy topics. So it's all about figuring out which topic is the right topic for you. Sometimes it's hard to really narrow it down, but hopefully once we go through this, you're going to feel really good about probably you might have 1 to 3 topics that you could potentially focus on. And we're going to look even further ahead in the next session or two to actually break that down and focus even more onto the one perfect topic, okay? So before we get started, I always love starting sort of these brain working sessions with a little, what I call them, brain bites, okay? So a little brain bite just to get that brain pumping. We want to get it pumping. Okay, let's get it pumping. All right. So imagine you're a superhero, okay? You are it, baby. You are saving the world. You are fighting other superheroes, maybe. I don't know. Bad superheroes, though. They're evil and you're not. So you're the superhero. Your weapon is an umbrella. You know when it's raining? Umbrella. Okay. So now I want you just to take a minute, take a few minutes to think about what makes it super. Okay. So what makes the umbrella super? How is it your weapon? So go crazy here. Think outside the box. Really push your mind to sort of think a little bit differently. What makes the umbrella super? I'm just gonna let you think about it for a minute, and then we're gonna have another one. So I might think okay, so my umbrella, when it opens up, it is like a mega shield. Nothing can penetrate the umbrella. Right. Also, I can imagine that if you open it really quickly, fast, I keep doing that. That's my sound effect. Maybe it helps you fly because maybe you're not Superman. You can't just fly. So that actually propels you and helps you fly. I don't know. So really think about that for a minute. Think of 1 or 2 things. Okay. Good. All right. Let's do another one. Take a second. Well, take probably 30 seconds. You're going to do this fast. I want you to think of all the words you can possibly think of. What are the first 5 words that you can think of when you hear the word lobster? Go. Yell them at the video. 5 words. Go. Boom, boom, boom. Fast, fast, fast. Lobster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. Now the final one is we're just trying to get our brain warmed up because we're doing a little bit of brainstorming. So we want our brain to be pumped and ready. So you are on the cover of a magazine. There you are, darling. Of course you are, because you will be. Don't you worry. Watch out. There are 5 articles around your picture on the magazine that all relate to your life somehow. What do they say? Right, because magazines like a Glamour or a Vogue or something like that, there's always advice things. What are these 5 articles going to be about that are within this magazine that are related to your life? Think about it. Maybe you can write some of these down if you want. You can pause the video at any time. So pause the video at any time, write some of these down, so that you can get that brain going. Now, I would recommend too, that at the beginning of any session, anything when you're going to start creating, do a couple of what I call brain bites like this, just to get your mind ready and primed to really dig into whatever it is we're going to be focused on or whatever you're going to be focused on, whether it's you're uncovering a new product for your business or new marketing ideas, or are you trying to come up with topics for your podcast, maybe, whatever it might be. Okay. So now that we have our brain going, we are really going to dig into the challenge. And if you can see me looking over here, it's because I've got my notes over here. So, I couldn't set my camera up the other way, so it looked less obvious. So I'm really sorry that it's super obvious. I'm looking at my notes, but I am. And it's because my notes are important, because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything when I'm talking to y'all. Okay. So let's dig into this. What is the best topic for you to teach? So there is a worksheet with this lesson. So if you want to grab that, download it, and get ready to fill that baby out, that'd be super cool. So these are some of the questions that you are going to ask yourself when you're going to answer within the workbook. And again, pause the video as you see fit. Okay. So, I'm going to ask the question. I want you to take a couple minutes. Don't make this hard. Don't make this, too much. Like, you don't need a half an hour for every question, right? Like, think about these things quickly. I would give yourself maybe 2 minutes at max to really write a couple of things down. So just after every question I ask, by all means, hit that pause button, baby, and write down your answers so that you feel good that you've had enough time to kind of put those answers into words. And then we'll just move on to the next question. Okay. So there are five questions. Okay. So the first one is, what do people ask you to help them with? Okay. So when people come to you, like, even if it's like friends, or even like within, you may not have coworkers, but sort of like co-entrepreneurs, friends out there that are in this space with you. When they come to you for guidance, help, advice, what are they asking you about? So take a minute, write down some of those things that people have come to you for. So for me, because I've been, designing websites since 2001. People generally come to me based on that space. Then they learn that I can do other things, and next thing you know, they're coming to me for other things. But so I know for sure that I could easily create a course centered around web design, right? Because I get a lot of questions around that. What would that be? I don't know. We'll dig into that later, kind of as we go, but I know that that's something that people ask me about. People ask me about web design, or they can get very specific. They ask me about membership sites. They ask me about sales funnels. I get a lot of questions around marketing strategies on LinkedIn, podcasts, because I have a podcast. So what are those things that people are asking you about? Okay. So write down all those questions that people ask you. Then I want you to write down your top 5 skills. What are those top 5 skills? Things like, and it doesn't have to be super related around what you do. You can expand on this, because you may be surprised about what you come up with as your not proper, but a good potential course topic, because we're exploring a little bit right now, right? So what are those top 5 skills? So, for me, design is, definitely one of my skills. I'm really good at problem solving though. I'm like, give it to me, baby. Give me all your problems. I'm here for you. I love solving problems. So I love solving problems. I love project planning. I love doing research, right? I'm really good at things like this. I'm really good at understanding technology in a way that other people don't. I'm really fast. I'm a fast learner, right? So what are all those things? I also feel like I'm pretty good at explaining difficult topics to people and keeping them engaged with what I'm saying. So what are all your skills around organization? Like what, good speaking skills? You can connect really well to people. What are all those top 5 skills that you find are super easy for you to bring to the table? Number 3, what can you do that others aren't so good at? Okay. So what sort of, like, even looking at those 5 skills, what of those do you know that you're like, I'm actually really good at these? Like, they ain't got nothing on me when it comes to this. Okay. Like you kind of stand out from the crowd a little bit because of this thing. What is that thing? Okay. So write down what that thing is. Maybe it's more than one thing. Write it down. Pause if you have to. What excites you or makes you lose track of time? And so, I'm gonna give you a second, but after I ask you these questions, I'm gonna go through sort of examples of what I would answer for these. Okay. So what excites you makes you lose track of time? That's the next one. And the final one is, what work do you love doing the most? What is like I am so happy right now. What is that? What is that? Write it down. All right. So using this information, you're going to start pulling out some ideas. So let me give you an example of how I would have answered these. So people ask me to, like I said, people ask me about their website's issues. A lot of them, especially when something's wrong or something looks wrong, they want me to sort of explain to them the like balance and design and how that, how that works. Technical issues, space, like just design elements that are, really important to design. Thinking about your call to actions. They asked me about podcasting now. They have asked me about, social media things. How do I create images for that to keep it simple? Doing video, because I do video. So people are always like, how you do video so easy? Because I think it's really easy. I'll say a lot. I'm really sorry about that. So all of those things, right? My top 5 skills, like I said, project management, problem solving, explaining things in simple terms. Those are like, my big skills. What can I do that others can't? I'm really good at explaining, I think, complicated things in very simplistic form, like so that people get it. One of my most important things that I pride myself on is that I always want my clients to feel super empowered and super clear about everything they have. I want my clients to be able to go into their WordPress website and update plugins and not be terrified that everything's going to fall apart, right? There is always a solution. We can always fix it. Like I always want them to know they're safe. It's a safe place. I also think that I can come up with very creative solutions for things because I like problem solving, and I can research like a mofo. Okay. Nobody can research like me. Girlfriend, let me tell you something. You want to know something? I can find out. Okay. So those are my sort of superpower things, right? What makes me lose? Oh, the other thing I think is a superpower thing that people have actually said to me. And so this is another thing. Remember what things that they've said to you. I've had multiple people say to me, you understood me without barely even spending a lot of time with me, right? Like when I meet a client and we work on a website, I have that meeting and I can feel who they are. I don't know how that happens. I've had, just in the last 3 months, I've had 3 people say that to me. So it's like I can sort of have this one conversation, and that's what I like. I want to have that conversation with you. I want to dig in. I want to understand you. I ask questions, and then I go over here and I do my job. I do my job, and then I present to you what I believe makes the most sense for you. I've had people respond and go, I'm crying right now. This is exactly, I can't believe you understood me like this, right? Like, so that's a big superpower for me. So what have people said to you that, maybe you can go, oh, I've never really thought about that. So what does that mean, right? So we're just kind of picking all these things up. We'll bring it together in a minute. What work do I love working on the most, right? So I like making people feel confident about tech through teaching and design, right? So you got to think about all the ways that you help people. So now I want you to spend the time on those questions. And there are no rules here. There are no restrictions. There are no limits to how the answers are, what they are. They can relate to the business you have now. They can relate to a business maybe that's coming in the future. They can relate to your family, your home life, your love life, your physical world, your fitness, your health, whatever, right? So just pull all the answers together so that we sort of have them in one place that we can look and dig into this a bit. All right. So now that you can kind of see everything you've put together, I want you to start sort of breaking these into chunks, categorizing, do things go together, right? Like, are you sort of being able to see ideas coming from these answers? Like, you're like, oh, I could do a course on something like this, right? Start writing down ideas. I want you to come up with like 20 potential course ideas. Okay. Topics like that they could be. I don't need you to dive into the whole course. I just need like basic bullet points, 20 things that you could potentially teach other people. Okay. So take a minute, write those down. Now that you've got those all written down, so what we want to do here is we don't want to make it big, right? Like, I don't want you thinking like, oh my God, what does this look like? How am I going to do this? Where am I going to blah, blah. No, get out of your head. Our goal is to create our minimal viable product, right? Our MVP. So our minimal viable product means what is the thing that I could create pretty quickly, that wouldn't be hard for me to like put it together. What's easiest, what feels right, what fits my business or where I'm going or where I want to go. Which ones are feeling a little bit better. Also, you can look at this and even break these further down, right? So some of them you might go, well, that's kind of big. I could maybe there's multiple things in here. Or maybe you go, I can clump some of these together and make a different course, right? So spend some time sort of playing and moving things around and matching them up and blending things and ripping them apart so that you have sort of as many ideas as you can kind of pull from. Now I want you to sort of like rank these ideas. Like I want them to be sort of like the things you could do the quickest, right? The easiest for you. So there's three things. The quickest, easiest for you. We also want it to fit your business goals. And we want it to be things that people have actually really asked you about. Okay. So, or you clearly know that people care about this thing. So we want those ones at the top. And then I want you to keep sort of going, okay, which one feels the most right? Which one feels the most right? Until we get to the minimum of 3. We want to have 1 to 3 sort of chosen, okay? And we're going to take these 1 to 3 ideas, and then we're going to validate these in another session to make sure that one of these is going to come out on top, okay? So figure out what those 3 are, and you just keep breaking it down. So, okay, you've got 20 of them, and you've got them rated 1 to 20. Okay, so take those 5 and go, okay, out of these 5, which one could I definitely, I would barely have to research on this. Which one of those would that be? Or are there 3? Or maybe there's none and you're like, I'm not really sure. Okay, so which one fits your business goals the most? Which ones of these feel right for your business now and in the future? Like, we want it to be a little bit long-term if we can. So what ones kind of fit that? Okay, so we want to make sure that we're not picking things that are going to be trendy. Okay, so we got to be careful about trendy stuff. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying never do trendy. I'm just saying understand that trendy is going to be, it's not going to be around a long time, let's be honest. Okay, girlfriend? It's not. So if it's super trendy, we want to be careful about putting all our eggs in this basket. Maybe that's more of a lead generation piece, and we're going to talk about that later in a formula that I have that's going to help you break this all out. But what I want at the end of this is for you to have 1 to 3 preferably, so that we can really dig in and make sure you've found the right one. And then we will look at more of this in the next video. So thank you so much for being here. You're the bomb, and I'll talk to you next video, depending on when you watch it. Hopefully it's just tomorrow. Bye.